Welcome to Unpacking the Backpack, a place where we dive into the depths of learning, teaching, and leadership, exploring the intricate nuances that make education both a challenge and a delight. Today, we're unwrapping the concept of pace in education and why how fast or slow we go matters to every learner out there. When most of us reflect on how we learn best, our minds often sprint to methods and environments that starkly contrast the traditional, one size fits all education model many of us grew up with. If you were lucky, you got caught up in the rush and found your rhythm. But what about those who didn't? What about those for whom the pace was either too quick or too slow? This is where the beauty of personalized learning comes into play, a philosophy that places the heartbeat of learning back into the hands of those whose lives it's meant to transform, the students. In the disruptively insightful book, Disruptive Thinking in Our Classrooms, personalization is defined as giving all learners what they need when and where they need it to not just succeed but thrive. Central to this philosophy is pacing. Pacing, you see, is like setting the tempo in music. Too fast and you lose the melody in the rush. Too slow and the notes drag, losing their vibrancy. But when the pacing is just right, every learner can move to the beat of their own drum, tapping into their potential in a way that feels natural and empowering. But why is pacing such a game changer? Well, for starters, we all learn differently. We process information in unique ways and at varying speeds. By personalizing the pace, we ensure that learning is not just a race to the finish line, but a journey that values each step and the growth it represents. It fosters engagement, boosts understanding, ramps up motivation, and most importantly, it shifts the control back to the learner, cultivating a sense of ownership and autonomy over their learning journey. To bring this to life in our classrooms, we can employ a variety of strategies. From mixing up teaching methods to suit different learning styles, to harnessing the power of technology to create adaptive learning plans, the possibilities are endless. The key lies in being flexible, responsive, and committed to understanding and addressing the individual needs of our students. As we continue to navigate the evolving landscape of education, let's not forget the critical role that pacing plays in creating inclusive, supportive, and engaging learning environments. It's not just about covering the curriculum or ticking off assessment criteria. It's about creating moments of discovery, fostering connections, and igniting passions. So, as we pack up today's episode of Unpacking the Backpack, I hope you're walking away with a deeper appreciation for the significance of pacing in personalized learning. Whether you're an educator refining your craft, a student navigating your educational journey, or just someone passionate about learning, remember, the right pace can make all the difference in the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep finding your pace.
Hey everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this podcast today on pace. Remember, I use a tool called Leap AI that takes blog posts that I've written in the past and creates these professionally sounding podcasts. Oh man, I love it. I love it because it saves me time and then it allows me to kind of add some, other perspective on the focus of the podcast. So when we think about pace, we know for a fact that if learning is the goal, students should be able to work at their own pace within reason. I don't know about you, but I need to watch videos over and over again until I get it. And I remember during the pandemic, I really wanted to learn how to cook. And one of my favorite restaurants in the country is called Drago's, and it's near New Orleans. And that's where I had char-broiled oysters, and I just love them. And during the pandemic, I couldn't go to Drago's or anywhere else, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to shuck and cook my own oysters on my grill. So what I did is I went on, did a web search, and found the recipe for Drago's oysters. And it was actually a YouTube video. And what I did was I watched that video over and over again. I made sure that I learned at my own pace until I was comfortable to not only shuck, but to cook those oysters. And then when I did, The determining factor as to whether or not I learned and I was successful was when I allowed family and friends to eat my oysters. The oysters were so good that my mother, who doesn't even eat seafood, will eat my oysters. And my brother will show up to my house with bushels of oysters for me to shuck and cook. I tell you that because for me, cooking doesn't come easy. And I want to make sure it's not that I want to do it right, I want to make sure I do it well. And I like experimenting with new ingredients and new styles. But if I wasn't able to learn at my own pace, whether reading things over and over again, taking my time, watching videos, I don't know if I would be successful. And in the classroom, you could leverage self pacing. You could have students work within a set pace during rotations or centers. But the key is this: you want to extend some grace to students to allow them to comprehend the material, to determine when they are confident to demonstrate understanding. And I say within reason, because it's not a free for all. It's not unlimited amount of time when it comes to learning at our own pace. Flipped classrooms are another great strategy where students can, engage in the content, whether through videos, slide decks, readings outside of school. And then they can work at their own pace to go through that content, but then in class, they can work on differentiated tasks and really get to that point where they're able to demonstrate learning. Again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can learn more about PACE in the latest book that I've co-authored with the amazing Nikki Slaw called Personalize, which is available now on Amazon. Until next time, keep making a difference, everyone. We appreciate you, and students need you.